look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. Always got some breathing room. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A huge play there right off the bat. 59 yards for him on the ground. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. After the interception, here's Wilson. Flush to his right. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here. A safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
And the Colts getting ready to go. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back.
Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. These two teams, Colts and Seahawks, they met on a Sunday night a season ago. It was actually the Colts with a 5-point lead at halftime, but then the second half flipped the script. Seahawks exploded, outscored Indy 36-3 on their way to a 46-18 victory. Throwing is Wilson. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
That is caught at the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his second extra point here in the first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week?
He's got a man complete. Luck to Hilton on the hook up there. 43 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Give him 30 yards there. They'll run it with Mack, and he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
Now it's Love. And he's got his man. It's Hilton for the Colts touchdown. T.Y. Hilton from 6 yards away. And the Colts are in for 6. And he'll bang that one through. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at about the 32. From the gun, it's Wilson. Now he's flushed out left. It's complete to Jerron Brown. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
After the interception, it's Luck. And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
And as a defender, if you come with 2 interceptions in a game, that's pretty rare in the NFL. You might see one guy a weekend do that. But to have 2 in the first quarter, that's something you don't see all that often. I have a feeling they'll think twice about throwing in his direction too often.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw is Wilson. It's caught right side. Dixon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. So, of course, they declined that there. They knew they had the free play. They got great yardage out of it.
It's kind of like when we were at dinner last night. You saw me reach for the check, so you ordered dessert on top of it, right? You said you had the free play.
Yeah.
Right? Already had what you needed. Go ahead and get a little more on top. I like it.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know they can.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. He hit him earlier in this first quarter with his arm. Now he does it with his legs.
Right now, he's one of those stat stuffers that you see on the basketball court. You know, the guy with points, rebounds, assists, steals. One with the arm, one with the legs. Let's see if he can continue this pace.
And sending out the reminder that, yeah, look, I'm known for having an arm, but I can do it with the legs on occasion when I need to. Look, and the Colts come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll run with Mack. Gets past one man. He finds an opening past the 40. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On first down, Locke. Over the middle, it's caught by Rodgers. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Doyle. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
To throw on second down is Locke. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Frank Clark, he's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Brissett escaping the pressure right. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Now Hundley. This will be his first throw off the bench. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there, 77 yards. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. Third time's the charm on the extra point as he gets this one to go. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Now the rookie from NC State, this is Nyheim Hines. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much. And
now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And he's got Rodgers. That one good for 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. 1st down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
To throw is Brissett. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Come on, let's go! Try 38!
On 3rd down, Brissett. Flushed out right. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. Johnson was the intended receiver.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
Throwing, Hundley. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. They'll try and run down here with Brosize. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now Hundley. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. In for the score. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. An out route there for the score. A quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands. Knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
Janikowski good with the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up 2nd and 10.
Let's go!
Throwing again with Set on 2nd and 10. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. They'll try and throw for it here. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Here we go! Grand 38!
They go play action here on 1st down. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Now Zaire Jones coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Flex round! Let's go!
Brissett sets to throw it. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
What? 90! What? 90!
Here's Hines. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.